a long arm, rifle, and a bag. Later we find out it's ammunition. He walks around, he sees two witnesses at the funeral home across the street from where he wrecked. He engages and fires towards them. He continues walking. He continues walking towards the school. He climbs a fence. Now he's in the parking lot, shooting at the school multiple times. 11:40, he walks into the west side of Robb Elementary. According to reports, video we have obtained from outside, inside, and again, we're still combing through that, so bear with us. Multiple rounds, numerous rounds are discharged in the school. We're trying to get a number. We're in the process of analyzing that video. 4 minutes later, local police departments, Uvalde Police Department, the Independent School District Police Department are inside, making entry. They hear gunfire, they take rounds, they move back, get cover, and during that time, they approach where the suspect is at. According to the information I have, he went in at 11:40. He walks, and I'm going to approximate 20 feet, 30 feet. He makes a right. He walks into the hallway, he makes a right, walks another 20 feet. Turns left into a schoolroom, into a classroom that has doors open in the middle. Officers are there, the initial officers, they receive gunfire. They don't make entry initially because of the gunfire they're receiving. But we have officers calling for additional resources. Everybody that's in the area, tactical teams, we need equipment, we need specialty equipment, we need body armor, we need precision riflemen, negotiators. So during that time that they're making those calls to bring in help to solve this problem and stop it immediately, they're also evacuating personnel, not say personnel, students, teachers. There's a lot going on, a lot complex situation. They're measuring. Approximately an hour later, U.S. Border Patrol tactical teams arrive. They make entry, shoot and kill the suspect. But you also had a Zavala County deputy and Uvalde Police Department that made entry and killed the suspect. Immediately, numerous officers. Now it turns into a rescue operation. How do we save these children? How do we save these children? Some made it out. We don't have a hard number yet, but that was a goal. And then continuing, making the area safe, continue. A lot of moving parts afterwards. But during, they were taking gunfire, negotiations, and developing a team to make entry to stop them. I'll take a few questions. And again, look, summary. One more thing I forgot to mention that I want to clear up that came out early on. It was reported that a school district police officer confronted the suspect that was making entry. Not accurate. He walked in unrestricted initially. So from the grandmother's house to the bar ditch to the school, into the school, he was not confronted by anybody. To clear the record on that. 4 minutes later, law enforcement are coming in to solve this problem.
So, Director, how is
Stand by. So, just want to clear that up. That's very important. And again, this will happen as we move forward. So, thank you. I'll take a few questions. So right now, during the investigation, it appears it was unlocked. So we're going to look at that and try to corroborate that as best as we can. I do that. Hey, please, one at a time, and we'll address as many questions as we can. So let me finish this question.
One at a time. Announce your name. Announce your network. Okay. Just be respectful, please.
So, Josh, thank you for the question. So right now, it appears it was unlocked. Like I said, it goes back to the investigation. It takes time. We will find out as much as we can why it was unlocked, or maybe it was locked. But right now, it appears it was unlocked. So thank you. Yes, sir.
You say at one point he was inside there, among the things you were attempting negotiation. Was he responding to negotiation and in that period of time when there continued gunfire?
So during that time, right now, according to the information we have, the majority of the gunfire was in the beginning. In the beginning. I say numerous, more than 25. I mean, it was a lot of gunfire in the beginning. During the negotiations, there wasn't much gunfire other than trying to keep the officers at bay. But that could change depending once we analyze the video. But right now, according to the information, he did not respond.
Director Galmas with NBC News. My question is this: was there a school officer on campus, and was that school officer armed? Because that's what we've been told.
So at this time, no. No, there was not an officer readily available, armed. No.
But was there an officer?
No, nothing. I can't answer that yet. I'll circle back with you again. As we do that investigation, we have all these questions we want to answer. So, but I'll get back with you, sir. Yeah.
There's a 12-minute gap. There's a 12-minute gap when he crashes his truck to when he enters the school. 12 minutes. What happened at 12 minutes?
So you got to understand, 11:30 is the information we have at this point that we can confirm. 11:30 a.m. the PD gets we got a crash and a man with a gun. And then you have responding officers. That's what it is. If it's 12 minutes, from 11:30 to 11:40, that's the information we have right now. Look, at the end of the day, our job is to report the facts and have those answers. We're not there yet. Over here. Say it again. So right now, the first 911 call is at 11:30. I will get the time what it took to respond. So we'll have that answer. Yes. Could. There's a lot of possibilities. There's a lot of possibilities. Until we receive an interview, because there was numerous officers at that classroom, numerous. Once we interview all those officers, what they were thinking, what they did, why they did it, the video, the residual interviews, we'll have a better idea. Could anybody have gone there sooner? You got to understand, small town. Yeah, people from Eagle Pass, from Del Rio, Laredo, San Antonio responding to a small community.
Based on the information you have so far, should the officers
That's a tough question. Again, it goes back. Our job is to report the facts. And later we can answer those questions.
what you know so far, should those officers...
I don't have enough information to answer that question just yet. So, one more question, please.
Is it accurate that eyewitnesses and potentially parents of the students were urging the police to go in while you were waiting for a tactical SWAT team, even that some parents were asking to borrow police armor so they could make a counter-assault on the school?
I have heard that information, but we have not verified that yet. So, we have not verified is that a true statement or not. Or is it just rumor out there? So you got to understand, we're getting a lot of information we're trying to track down and see what is true. We want to vet it. That's all I have for questions. Thank you so much.
Hold on.
So look, we appreciate the questions.
What were the officers doing between 11:44 and 12:45?
I got you. Yes, sir.
You guys have said that he was barricaded. Can you explain to us how he was barricaded and why you guys stopped that door?
So I have taken all your questions into consideration. We will be doing updates. We will be doing updates to answer those questions.
Answer that question now, sir.
What is your name?
Shimon.
Shimon. I hear you.
Because we've been given a lot of bad information, so why don't you clear all of this up now and explain to us how it is that your officers were in there for an hour, yes, rescuing the people, but yet no one was able to get inside that room.
Shimon, we will circle back with you. We want to answer all your questions. We want to give you the why. That's our job. So give us time. I'm taking all your questions. I'm taking them back to talk to the team. And look, thank you for being here. We'll talk soon. We'll talk soon.
Thank you. Thank you.
You have been watching a quite freewheeling press conference here outside Robb Elementary School as Texas Rangers try to clarify the police timeline and address the anger and frustration from some parents. And I don't know if this press conference would alleviate the concerns that parents had. In fact, we got confirmation that the suspect arrived on the scene here in Uvalde, 11:28 at the school, crashed his vehicle, exited the vehicle, and almost immediately began firing at the school. Entered at around 11:40. A full hour, we now have confirmed, went by before the classroom where the majority of the people died, if not all, where the shooter was actually breached by law enforcement. I'm here with Janet Shamlian, who was listening to the press conference with me. What stood out to you?
I mean, it raises more questions than answers, right? A full hour. The parents were out there complaining, asking if they themselves could go in, urging law enforcement to go in. And it sounds like these local officers were waiting for a tactical team. And although authorities said that it was that they believe that most of the deaths took place in the first few minutes, that's a long span of time to wait. Now, they also talked about negotiating, but didn't, expand on what that meant, that they were negotiating while they were waiting for a more advanced tactical team.
We also don't know the nature of this barricade or blockade, how the shooter was in the classroom.
Right, but we are hearing from a child now. The first account from a child inside the classroom who survived the carnage and has talked about the gunman shooting through the door, coming in, hearing the police outside. We'll have that on the CBS Evening News, but it is a riveting account, and it could put into perspective what happened.
Yeah, and the Texas Rangers saying they want to interview all the officers on the scene to ask them why they didn't try to make an entry prior to the special tactical unit arriving. But again, that raises more questions.
And that is the question every parent wants to know. Why wasn't something done before an hour's time?
Yeah, and then if that's not enough, we have the unlocked door in the back of the school. Officer on campus. The responding officer was just nearby and making